Hello, this is Tola from Trifle Productions with another Blender quick tip. And in this quick tip, I'm going to show you how you can export or acquire maps for any textures that you have on your system or textures that you've downloaded from online that you can use on your models, where you can export or have access or create the maps that are needed for the textures to be applied, properly to your model. Textures such as the diffuse texture, the bump map textures, or the bump maps actually, the normal maps, so on and so forth. And this by using the One Click PBR Pro add-on. Let's go to the developer side so we can see what they have to offer. Now it's called the One Click PBR Pro Auto Texture Generator for Blender. Long name, but it does the job. For the basic version of the add-on, it's $4.24, and then for the advanced version, which gives you more options, it's $6.93, which is not bad for that price, because what it does, it helps you quite a bit when it comes to creating these maps that you need to have a more realistic looking texture applied to your model. Now, if we go down, it works in Blender 3.0 all the way up to 4.5, and it works in cycles and in Eevee. And I'll leave a link of the add-on below the video, so you can actually download yourself and check it out. But once you've downloaded the zip folder onto Blender, I'm using 4.1 for this tutorial. Once that zip folder has been downloaded onto your system, the installation process is still the same. Just click on Edit, Preferences, and make sure you're on the add-ons option for this aspect of Blender. Click on Install, navigate to that zip folder, click on it, click on Install Add-on. Let me type in 1, and then you put a check in the box and it's ready to go. Now it's not in the tool panel. It's actually in the shader aspect of Blender, the shader editor. So click on that, and it's right here, One Click PBR. And the cool thing about this add-on is that your model doesn't have to be UV unwrapped, and you don't have to have a texture slot available for it to work off the bat. So this has by default a texture slot applied to it already, but I'm just going to delete the texture slot. It's going to start from scratch basically. So we're going to delete that. And the add-on itself is pretty straightforward. You have options for displacement, the mid-levels, the bump strength, roughness, contrast, so on and so forth. And you have options for baking it. Also a texture slot to send the baked textures to, because if you want to use this model in another software without having to reapply the texture to it again, you just bake the textures using the add-on, and you can apply the textures again very, very easily. It has options for different maps to bake, which would be the diffuse, normal, metallic, roughness, ambient, occlusion, and emission. And once you've chosen the maps you want to use or export or bake, you can click on Bake PBR Materials. And also there are different resolutions, all the way up to 4K, which is great. Just because you want to have a close-in zoomed view of your model with the textures, you can have it up to 4K. Or far away would be 512 by 512, which would be in the distance. But I'm going to change my viewport so we can see how the textures look on our model and see how the parameters work or as they're being adjusted. So I'm going to click on that option there for the world view. Click on the color tab, turn to a sky blue color, which is always my preference. That's good. I'm going to go up further. For the render options, turn it to cycles and turn this to GPU. And then I'm going to click on the samples, make it 128, enter. I'm going to click on my light source there and turn it to a sun. Click on that. Click on the color tab, turn it to a yellowish color. Yellowish, that's good. And put the strength at 5. And now we're going to change the viewport here to cycles. And then we have it, our cube there. So I'm going to click on our cube. And the first thing we want to do with the add-on is click on Generate PBR from Image. So click on that. I'm going to navigate to where my textures are on my computer. I'm going to scroll down and choose one. And I'll choose that one and generate PBR. And there we go, just instant. It's pretty fast. Now, it's applied a subdivision surface to my model. If you don't want the subdivision surface to be applied to your model, just deactivate it by clicking on that option there and turns back to its original form. You can see that it applies the texture fairly well, evenly over our model here. Usually when you apply texture in Blender to a cube like this, the size would be stretched, but here it's not. It's just evenly distributed all over the cube, which is great. As I mentioned earlier, you can change the displacements, the mid-levels, increase and decrease the bump. Same thing with the roughness, change that a bit. The roughness, brightness, you can change that also. And you can just change it to the way you want it to look on your model. So once you're satisfied with the way it looks, just click on this folder here. And I like the way the developer just pretty much has everything, you know, in order here. Just go top to bottom. There's no guesswork applied. You just go through the steps one at a time in sequence and in order. And then when you're finally done with all your changes, just go down to the bottom and press Bake PBR Materials. But let me click on that folder there. And I'm going to go to where I've stored, created a folder for this tutorial. And there it is. I want to click on Accept. You can increase the samples if you want to, but I think the samples are fine. If you have a strong enough GPU on your computer, you can change that also. You can also keep the images in the blend folder, but I would rather just have it exported to the folder that I created. And we have the diffuse map activated, normal, metallic, and roughness. Let's activate the ambient occlusion and also the emission. And then click on Bake PBR Materials. Give it a second. It doesn't take that long to bake the materials either, which is also nice. And it's done. Now if we go to that folder, let me see, is this the folder? Yeah, here's a folder. So we have all the maps here, the albedo, the AO, emission, metallic, normal, and the roughness. And that's it. That's how simple and easy it is to use the One Click PBR Pro add-on. Great add-on, does a great quick job of creating the maps you need to apply to any model in Blender. And that's today's Blender quick tip. Hopefully you guys will download yourself and check it out and give it a walkthrough. And thank you guys for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. All right, adios.